Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Loud. So you've been here, you've been absorbing information, you've been expanding your minds. This panel was great. As Eric said, it's never too late to reinvent yourself. So what I'd like to do is invite you to take a deep breath. You've been taking information in. Now I'd like you to think about yourself and how this new space, this new media is going to affect your lives in the future. So yes, I'm Lisa Loud. I'm the CEO of Fluidify. It's a DeFi company. We're working on DeFi and NFTs. And what I want to talk to you about today is, let me see if this works. Okay. Let's start with a brief history of money. How did we get here? So my personal journey, I started out very focused on success. I chose my career as software engineering because I wanted to make the most money possible, and math wasn't going to do it. And then I moved to Silicon Valley because salaries were higher there. I even chose my first husband, maybe it's possible, because he looked like he would be a good earner, but don't tell my kids that. I did choose better later. I discovered that wasn't a good reason. But all along, I was really motivated by this idea that money really could change my family's fortunes. And you know, there's this idea that money is evil. It's not. In fact, the quote from Mark Twain, it's not, you know, people say it's the root of all evil. It's not. The quote is actually, if you go look it up, the lack of money is the root of all evil. And I think that's true. So yeah, like Spike said, I really wanted the opportunity to prove that money really wouldn't make me happy. Can anyone relate to that? So there's this idea that we are self-made people, especially in the United States. People who are wealthy have made their fortunes. But is this really true? As it turns out, it's not so much. Most of the billionaires we have in the United States are rich because they were handed down a large amount of money. So I asked my wealthy friend, what's the best fatherly advice you've ever received? He said, my father told me, here's $30 million, try not to lose it. And that's true. Working hard only takes you so far. The ones who are lucky in our society, some of them have self-made fortunes, but a lot of them are just lucky. Our entire financial system is very unfair. It's very unequal. So where does this inequality happen? And how can we change it? Blockchain. Several years ago, blockchain was the promise. Everyone said blockchain transactions will be cheap, instant, secure, and global. And democratization of finance will finally happen. In 2017, I was working at PayPal, leading digital acquisition. And I suddenly realized, what am I doing? It was my moment of epiphany. I realized that I was no longer innovating and making the world a better place, a more equal place. What I was doing was taking a big tech company and making it into a big bank. That was not going to change the world. So I left. I went to work at BitMEX. I entered the blockchain space, and I really thought we were just at the edge of changing the world. Blockchain really can change the world, but it's a technology. It's not enough. There has to be more. So now we're looking at NFTs. This whole conference is about NFTs. NFT provides the creator economy, and there's a lot of promise to it, but it's not quite everything. It's like saying the internet is going to change the world. I mean, it does, but it's like the rails on which everything changes. NFTs are the same thing. It's all about using NFTs in a way to change your life, to change the world around us. So, NFTs, I want to talk about several things. I want to talk about the vision that NFTs bring us. The vision is power to the people. It's giving creators the power to actually make something and deliver it to their audience and reap the benefits of that. You can build in behavior when you make something. You can maintain access to your audience forever if you do it right. And that's exciting. So how I got into the NFT space was a little accidental. In June, we did an NFT for Floyd Mayweather with his Logan Paul fight. And so we got box seats, there's me, box seats for the Floyd Mayweather fight, where he went, I think it was 10 rounds. He comes in with all his tall bodyguards. He's not a very tall guy. We couldn't even see him in the backstage room because there were so many big guys around him. And he went on stage, talked about, actually it was the Bitcoin conference in Miami with a lot of Bitcoin maximalists. And he came in wearing an ETH t-shirt. It was not popular. They made us get his t-shirt changed. They wouldn't let him go on stage until he changed his t-shirt. So that was awkward. But anyway, the fight, he went 10 rounds. You know, he didn't knock him out until the end. It was all very showy, but it was fun. It was like, okay, NFTs can do crazy things. And then now we're working, Zatara is working with soccer teams to do an entire NFT strategy, Inter Milan football, and AS Roma. So it's exciting. It's like things are changing. But where are we going with this? What I like to think about with NFTs is really building a legacy. And I think each of us has a legacy to build. There's an opportunity for everyone in this room to learn how to create NFTs and build their future with NFTs. But what does that actually look like? When I think about building a legacy, there's 3 aspects of it. There's who, there's why, the context, and then there's how. So jumping to the end, how is this NFT technology? But who really should be building a legacy? I'm working with the Frida Kahlo Foundation now to build a legacy, to change her impact on the world, increase her impact on the world. She is someone who has been marginalized in some ways, but she represents these marginalized groups. She represents minorities, she represents all these things. She has made a huge impact on the world. If we take her work and we make it into NFTs, we can actually extend her impact after her lifetime and make a new thing, or make a greater thing. And how do we do that? Well, that's the why, that's the context, that's the what did she stand for? So think about it. What impact do you want to make on the world? What do you stand for? What do you want to leave as your legacy? So, we come to the point of my talk. You and building a legacy. Yes, artists, famous people, Frida Kahlo, Michael Jackson, these people can build a legacy or can have someone build a legacy with their body of work. But it's more than that, and it's not just artists, it's everybody. I think everybody in this room has the opportunity to decide how they're going to use NFTs to either record their lives or define their lives. I was just having a talk with William Enterkin right before this, and he brought up an interesting point. It is that there's identity politics, the evil side of building a legacy, where we get identified by who we are rather than by all the things that we have. And what I'd like to suggest is that, yes, you can build an NFT legacy by identifying with certain things and making that, or identifying other people. That person is a Trump supporter, that person is a YouTube influencer. But really, what do we want to do with NFTs? We want to make it about who we are, or about what we have, all the things that we love, all the things that we have. You know about POAP's proof of attendance protocol. You know about, last night there was a proof of party. There's all these ways that we can use NFTs to create something that will last, something that we can pass on to our children, something that we can pass on to those around us that makes a difference in their lives, that shows them that there's an opportunity to be more than what they are, to be greater than what they are. And NFTs is really the how of how we do that. So if you have never created an NFT, I challenge you, after this week, this week is crazy, but after this week, I challenge you to think about what NFT you might make that represents something that you want to share with the world. And I challenge you to create one on one of the platforms that are represented here this week, and make your first NFT, and make that the start of your journey to create a legacy of yourself and what you want to share with the world. Thank you.